What's up guys, Wordup back today to bring you the first of what is likely to be a good few videos on my UI. This is easily one of the most discussed or requested topics that comes up in various places, especially in my videos, so I thought I'd cave and at least talk about some parts of it instead of the radio silence that I've had for everything. This is then going to be based around the weak auras I use in the center of my screen. In particular here will be for enhancement, but there will be another complimentary video on the havoc auras as well. You can find the paste bin and waggle links for the auras down at the bottom in the description if you want to try them out for yourself by importing them into weak auras. First and foremost, though, is a quick disclaimer. The auras were built by me, for me originally, so in some cases there may be some issues for you that stop them from working that are a bit outside my knowledge since I just build them. Often they are due to conflicts with other add-ons that you're using or your UI in general. If that's the case, I am sorry, and it definitely wasn't intended. Also, if you find the auras too small or incorrectly positioned, you're welcome to move them around. Just know you'll need to resize and move them all individually, so keep track of which auras were stacked. Don't try and shortcut them, and you'll be fine. Also note, if you're using the modified timer places, they are coded in the on initiation section, so just go in there and modify them accordingly with different number placements for the offset, and you should be fine with a different scaled aura. This will, however, hopefully be phased out, as it is an intended upcoming design feature for weak auras to have the offset applied, but for now it's all I could do for the style points and to make it fit into the UI that I wanted. Finally, there is some skinning that does go on onto the auras themselves. That is done with mask and the mask flat squares skin. Those links you can find in the description below. And lastly, I would strongly advise using shared media as well, since that is where a lot of the textures and fonts that are used in this particular weak aura package came from. It does contain everything that you need, aside from the font that I use, which is emblem.ttf, but you can go and find that elsewhere and put that into your shared media folder if you so want to. So, there's 4 main strings to the center section, and I'll jump through them as quickly as possible, just as a quick overview for those watching who may not have seen it completely in action. First, right in the middle, you can see the Maelstrom power bar. This will always show Maelstrom, including whilst in Ghost Wolf, which has been a problem with the stock UI, and will always be active. It also has a small indicator, as you can see, with overcharge taken. It shows when you just have enough Maelstrom to make use of Lightning Bolt if you want to dump Maelstrom with it. Next, just under, is a simple stylized health bar to match it and keep in the style. Nothing too fancy there. Last, in regards to resources, one you may not have noticed is this little mana bar down here by my unit frame. This will appear out of place when you import it because it's placed for where it fits in my UI. So if you want to use it, just find your own place for it. Make sure that it's in your vision where you need to see it. Although do note it's not that crucial, it is just tracking your mana for things like Healing Surge and Purge. And last, but certainly not least, is the buffs block around the resource bar. On the left, artifact ability Doomwind's timer and cooldowns, and on the right, the same for Feral Spirit, alongside a very small other aura to track Alpha Wolf with the artifact trait. These are the 2 largest and arguably most important to your rotation, that's why they've been made larger and given center stage on the screen. Next, along the top, there's Boulder Fist, Landslide, both in 2 separate icons, depending on if you have the different talent traces, Flame Tongue, Frostbrand/Hailstorm, and Stormbringer, including a charge tracker if you're using Tempest, in that order. These are the core buff trackers and always are in a fixed position, so you can get used to which gaps mean which buff is missing in your general gameplay. Underneath are some more cursory buffs that you do need to know about but aren't as really important as those on top. These include your Crash Lightning Cleave on the far left, the artifact trait Gathering Storms, which procs from Crash Lightning casts, and its damage multiplier intensity, and on the far right, just a tracker for Unleash Doom procs, so that you know that you want to aggressively spend some globals during that uptime. Finally, on the far left side of Doomwind's tracks mobility, being a tracker for Spirit Walk and Feral Lunge / Windrush Totem when they're on cooldown only, otherwise they are hidden. Same for the right side of Feral Spirit, tracking defense and CC with your Astral Shift and your Totem tier, again hidden when they're available, but displaying the cooldown when they're not. So that covers that center block in the middle of my UI, which is, again, something that has been really requested. Obviously, this is the first public iteration of these auras, and they have gone through so many different changes over the course of the beta, which means that they will likely change again over the course of the expansion, or when I deem things more or less important to track, causing them to move around with different trinkets, set bonuses, all that kind of stuff that I need to make room for. Any major updates I will make sure to note here in this video in an annotation, so you always know that you have the most up-to-date version if you're using them, and you can always trust that the ones that I've put on here should be working generally fine. I do hope this has covered this pretty hot topic for you guys, and those who are really interested in how it's done and how you can replicate it. If it has helped you, please hit that like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.